Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Yay! Our house guests of the day are Joy Cummins and Roy Rogers. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys would like to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Yay! Okay. So I also, before we get going here, want to thank our super chatters from yesterday because we also couldn't do this without you. So Jody Cortez, Candy, Care Bear 22, Lisa Grimes, S. Dean, Dawn MH302, Night of Light Official, and Gail Murphy Comedy. Thank you all so much. You're awesome. All right. So last night, Memphis was evicted by a vote of 2-0. We saw that King Kaser was back to introduce the next HOH competition. It's called Night Moves, and it is a classic. It was on, I want to say, season 3, 6, and then it came, I don't know if it was on any in between, but then it came back for 16 as a Battle of the Block competition. It's a good time. Basically, if you guys aren't familiar with it, or familiar with chess, there is a chess piece called the Knight, and that piece you have to move in an L formation. So for each round, like, everybody has to make a move in an L formation, and the spot that you land on is out of play. Nobody can use that anymore. So they flip that over, and then you're trying to like trap your opponents so that they don't have anywhere else to go. And if you get to a point where you can't go anywhere else using that L formation, you're out. And the last person standing wins. So it's a great competition. It's all mental and strategy. So it is very exciting that they brought this one back. But the competition was not shown on last night's show. They're going to show it on Sunday or Monday. Monday. But it's just going to be Christmas, Cody, and Enzo competing because Nicole was the outgoing HOH. All right. So the feeds came back at 9:17 p.m. Big Brother time last night, and they came back to a silent house. It was a very quiet night for a long time. So we see Christmas studying by herself at the dining room table. We see Enzo studying the photos in the photo bedroom. He's wearing the HOH key. So Enzo won HOH, but he also won himself a spot in the final 3. Wow. Okay, so he's saying to himself / the cameras, I know what I have to do. I have to win out. That's it. Because I'm not going to get Christmas and Cody. There's no way. I think he means to take him to the end, but that's confusing because I feel like Cody would definitely take him to the end. Well, no, unless Nicole's there, then I don't know. But Christmas, I feel, would take him unless Nicole was there. So, I mean, yeah, he wants Nicole to go this week. But if it was Enzo, Cody, and Christmas in the end, I feel like Enzo would make the final 2 no matter what, right? That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, Enzo says, I have to fight for my life in the endurance. And he's talking about part 1 of the final HOH competition, which is traditionally endurance. Okay. So then we find out that Cody is sleeping in the key bedroom. Nicole was in the diary room for a while. So we had completely silent feeds for a long time. It was crazy. Eventually, Enzo speaks again, and he says, man, Cody wants Christmas out. I want Christmas in. We're going to see what happens on Saturday. He's talking about the Power Veto competition because that's going to determine everything. But he wants Nicole out this week. He does not want to give Cody that extra opportunity to make it to the end because he knows that Nicole would take Cody to the end, not him. So, yeah, he wants to keep Christmas around. And he says, tomorrow, nominations. I don't give an F about nominations. It doesn't matter. And he's right. It all comes down to the Power Veto this week. It doesn't matter who goes up. But if you think about it, just like from how things were last night, I don't see Cody or Christmas cutting Nicole. I feel like Nicole has basically made it to the final 3, right? Christmas doesn't want to keep Cody around. Cody doesn't want to keep Christmas around. So I feel like those two are going to go after each other. And then if Nicole wins the POV, she would have a big decision to make between Christmas and Cody. Because I feel like if she cuts Cody and she makes it to the final two, she wins, right? People are going to respect that move. It would be wild. Do I think she would actually do it? Probably not. I don't know. But anyway, Nicole and Enzo had a brief chat in the bathroom area, and they were talking about how Christmas needs to relax. Apparently she was already going up to Enzo like right after the competition and asking who he's going to put up on the block. Why though? Like, it doesn't matter who goes up on the block. It's really not that big of a deal, at least not for her. So yeah, that was kind of bugging everyone that she was doing that already. So Christmas is the next one called to the diary room. Cody and Nicole were chatting in the key bedroom, and Nicole says, "I'm going nuts. I feel like I'm about to lose my mind. Up in here, up in here." So Cody asks why. And Nicole says, "Because I'm so annoyed." And Cody says, "Me too." I feel like he's saying that he's like he doesn't even know what she's talking about. But Nicole says she hated watching the HOH competition. It was so hard to watch. She says, and the fact that Christmas thinks that she's close to Enzo, that she can tell him to go after you. So yeah, Nicole says Christmas is obviously closest to Enzo in this house. I think she's a little bit annoyed because she thought that she had Christmas to herself, but now Christmas is trying to tell Enzo what to do. But Cody says she's closest to nobody. Christmas is not close to anyone. She just jumps around from person to person. So then Cody says, Enzo, Christmas may be going up to Enzo. And even if he did go along with what Christmas was saying, Enzo has no power in this situation, which is true. I mean, he's the HOH this week, but this is the one week where the HOH is basically powerless. It all comes down to who wins the power of veto. And Enzo could win the power of veto, but even in that situation, he would only be picking who the sole voter is. He wouldn't be casting a vote himself. So Cody says Christmas running to Enzo to try and target us was completely predictable. Like we knew that was going to happen. So Cody says, the thing that pisses me off is like, the more I think about it, Enzo was walking around like, let's go after he won the competition. But he didn't just win that comp. I threw you that competition. What? Okay. Did Cody really throw the Final Four HOH, or is he just saying that because he lost and he's not accepting the results of the HOH competition? I don't think he threw it. I really don't. Ridiculous. So anyway, Nicole says, Enzo showed her his true colors today, and I don't trust him. She says, what he did to you, F that. I would never have done it to you ever, and I'm still angry about it. So it sounds to me like they do not like the way that Enzo played in this HOH competition, because I'll explain it. But Cody says, I don't just do things for myself in this game, and that is going to be my downfall. Congratulations. Nobody said you had to play for everybody else. Like, this is an individual game, but okay. So he says, if I go home this week, it's going to be because of what happened in the HOH competition. So he said, instead of playing the comp 1 versus 1 versus 1, I was playing it me versus her. So Cody was thinking that they were both going to try and trap Christmas so that she would be out, and then the two of them would duke it out. But it sounds like Cody was trying to do that and trying to trap Christmas, and Enzo was just like letting them go at it, and then he was like, oh, I won. So, I mean, I can't blame him, right? That's the smart thing to do. So Nicole says it's very obvious what Cody did. He took one for the team, and that whole situation made her really fired up and pissed. Like, that was so selfish. So Nicole says, we're all playing this individual game, right? So I guess I need to have the mindset of being more individual. Then she says, but I know how much you've done for Enzo in this game, so it bugs me. So was Enzo supposed to let Cody win the competition? Give me a break. Ridiculous. So it's the Chronicles of Ridic. So then Nicole wonders, is Enzo secretly hoping that me or you are going to get clipped this week? Oh, yeah. He definitely wants Nicole to go this week. Enzo wants to be in the final 3 with Christmas and Cody for sure. So Nicole says again, Enzo was trying to not piss Christmas off in that competition. He actually got closer to Cody several times than he did to her, which annoyed the crap out of Nicole. And she says now Enzo is still sitting in a good spot with Christmas, whereas Christmas, saw Cody like coming at her in this competition and not at Enzo. So she was like, what's his problem? But she doesn't feel that way about Enzo. So Nicole says, okay, what Enzo did wasn't selfish. I take it back. But it was eye-opening. And Nicole says, now I would take Christmas to the final 2 over Enzo because of that. And Cody's like, oh, shit. Please. She would have done that anyway. She definitely would have taken Christmas to the final 2 over Enzo. She knows she has a way better chance of beating Christmas. So Cody talks about how Enzo was more focused on keeping himself safe than with trapping Christmas during the comp. And Cody says, I did what I had to do. And if that bites me in the butt, it is what it is. So Nicole says, it shouldn't bite you in the butt, though. And Cody says, if Christmas wins the veto, I'm done. Yup. So Nicole says there's no way that Christmas is going to win the veto. One of us is going to win it. And Cody says, yeah. And then it's going to be me and you in the final 2 because there's no way that Enzo is going to beat us in those final competitions. I mean, he did just win this HOH. He's definitely capable. Yeah, so Nicole says Enzo wants Christmas in the final 3. Yes. And they agree they will not allow that to happen. They will not allow Christmas to be in the final 3. Cody says, I've already told Enzo, if I win that final POV, there is not an effing chance in hell that I'm taking Christmas to the final 3. And he says, Enzo, just shut up when I said that. He didn't say anything back to me. I'm sure he did. But Cody says Enzo has 0 say this week. The same he's had all game. And he says the only way that Enzo's got to say is if he wins power veto. And again, I say he still wouldn't have like a ton of say in the matter. Like he could save Cody, like if he wins power veto, and then Cody could just turn around and save Nicole, and that's not what Enzo wants. So it's out of Enzo's hands at this point. All right. This was wild. But anyway, they play backgammon for a while, and then they agree. Cody says, if, I don't make it to the end and you do, you definitely have my vote to win. And Nicole was like, yeah, same, of course. Okay. So then Enzo comes in and he's like, I want to do the POV comp right now. I'm fired up. And Cody agrees. It's driving him insane. He just wants to get it over with. So then Enzo complains again about Christmas asking about nominations already. And he says, enough already. And Enzo in this conversation is making it sound like he wouldn't nominate Cody, which is weird because I feel like last week when they talked about it, Cody and Enzo both agreed that they would nominate each other so that it wouldn't look like they were super close. But it seems like they've changed their minds, and Cody does not want to be going up on the block. So I feel like Enzo should just nominate Cody, though, because then just in case the 2 of them are in the final 2 together, Enzo would be the only one who could say, I was never nominated this season. Cody wouldn't be able to say that anymore. And that's kind of a big deal when you get to the end. So yeah, I feel like he should nominate Cody, but it doesn't seem like he's going to do it now. So later, Enzo gets his HOH room, which was blocked from feeds as usual. And I'm itchy. Everyone was hanging out for a while, including Mulan. I'm glad that she got moved up to the HOH room. They were all having some of Enzo's wine. They did a cheers to the final 4, and they were just chit-chatting for a while. So eventually, Enzo and Cody were alone in the HOH. They had a late night chat after 2 a.m. And Enzo says, Christmas knows she's going home. She knows. And Cody says, well, we got to win the veto. We got to win the veto to make that happen. And Enzo says, F yeah, I'm gunning for it. So then Enzo is talking about, and keep in mind, they've been having their wine here, so they're a little more likely to say what they're really feeling at this point. So Enzo starts talking about how much fun the HOH competition was. And Cody is not going to like that. So Cody, he stays silent for a sec, and then he's like, you sucked. And Enzo's like, I sucked? I effing won, yo. And again, it sounds like Cody was trying to trap Christmas so that she would be eliminated, and Enzo just kind of stayed behind him. So Enzo's like, honestly, I was lucky that I got to go third every round because I got to see what you two were doing, and then I could just kind of like hang back. And he says, Cody was the first defense. I was the second. We did it the right way. Cody does not seem to agree with that. He says, we were not following the same plan then. You were playing Switzerland in this competition. And I want to note too, during this conversation, they're like laughing, but their voices are kind of raised. Like there's tension here. Cody is definitely ticked off with Enzo, but it's like one of those things where you're upset with a really, really good friend and you don't want to like lash out at them. So you're like bringing up your issues in like a laughing way. But you could tell Cody is really pissed. So yeah, Cody says, if Christmas wins this power veto, I'm going up on the block. Or I'm going out. Yeah. And Enzo says, well, if you go, I'm effed. Like, I don't want that to happen. And he says, Nicole would take Christmas to the end over me. Yes. So Enzo says, Nicole's taking Christmas all the way. That's why we should get rid of Nicole. And he's like, why is Nicole now all of a sudden in the greatest spot? I mean, I would argue that Enzo's in the greatest spot because he's guaranteed final three now. He's already made it into the final three, but I would also agree, yes, Nicole's in a great spot at this point because I feel like Cody and Christmas would definitely take each other out if one of them were to win the veto. But Enzo says, all along, we've talked about like how we're getting rid of the better player, right? We took out Tyler. We took out blah, 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 whatever. We're always saying that we're getting rid of the better player. So he asks, who's the better player, Nicole or Christmas? And Enzo says, Nicole is. And Cody's like, yeah, but Christmas has won more competitions. She's better in competitions than Nicole. And he says, there's no way I'm not sending Christmas home if I win the power veto. Dude, you're making it so obvious. And Enzo says, because you know that Nicole would take you to the final two. That's why. That's it. Yes. But Cody says, no, it's because Christmas has just been sitting in this house for weeks on weeks on weeks, just sitting around. Okay. So then they argue more about the HOH competition. Again, there's definitely tension there. And Enzo says, bro, I want you in the final two. I want us to be there together. I'm not putting you up on the block. I'm going to keep your record alive. He says people are going to be talking about the two kids from Jersey that didn't go up on the block the whole season. He says, that's Hall of Fame shit, bro. He was talking about what a big deal it was when Derek did that on season 16. And he says that was with all newbies. Like if we could both do that during an all-star season, that's a big deal. And it really is a big deal, of course. But it was just funny the way that Enzo was talking about it. It was hilarious. So Enzo says, I'm scared of going to the final three with me, you, and Nicole. I'm scared that you would throw the final HOH competition because you know that Nicole will take you to the end. And again, I feel like that wine is kind of like making the truth come out. So Cody's like, why would I do that? Why would I want to sit next to Nicole and lose to her? So Cody says, I want to sit in the final two with you. So Enzo says, oh, well, I want us to go to the final three with Christmas. We'll beat her easily in the HOH competitions. And he says, Nicole has already won her money. You know, let's let's get it ourselves. So Cody says, we'll beat anyone in the final HOH competitions. So Cody's not budging. He wants Nicole to stay, and Enzo's not budging. He wants Nicole to go. So yeah. That was pretty much the end of the game conversation last night. A little later, Enzo dressed up Mulan the cow in his Ugg boots and some sunglasses and the HOH robe. I am enjoying the Mulan storyline, sure. All right, so then today, interesting conversation between Christmas and Enzo in the HOH room. We missed the beginning of this. The feeds were not on them for the beginning of this conversation, but we hear Enzo says, Nicole scares me more than Cody in the final three. He says, if me or you win the power veto, we got to sit down and talk about this. We got to figure out who should go to the final three with us. So he says, Nicole and Cody have a final two deal. Absolutely. I don't care what they say. They have a deal. And that is correct. And Christmas agrees. She says there's no splitting that up. Like, they came in here with this deal. We got to split them up. So Christmas would like to see them both on the block this week. She says we need to shake Cody up going into this POV competition, and he'll be shooketh if he goes up on the block. Is it that big of a difference? That, like, she's really fixated on these nominations, but it's really, like, not that big of a deal. So yeah, they talk about going to the final two together. They both finished in third place on their original seasons. They do not want to do that again. Third place freaking sucks. So they want to make sure that they make it all the way. Enzo says he doesn't like that Nicole is in such a good spot right now. He feels like she's already in the final three. She's sitting pretty right now. He says she doesn't even have to win this competition. So then Christmas promises, if me or you win the power veto, we will have conversations about this and we'll make a decision together. Enzo is clearly pushing in this chat for Nicole to go this week, but I feel like Christmas definitely wants Cody out for sure, because she knows that Cody is a huge threat. But I'm wondering if Nicole is just, like, becoming this bigger and bigger threat in everybody's minds now that it's becoming a reality that a former winner might actually make it to the end. And that's freaking them out now that it's actually happening. I think a lot of people are gaining more respect for her now that she's winning competitions. So Enzo says Nicole's playing really well under pressure. Cody has been cracking lately. He's not doing great in these comps, and Christmas agrees. So Enzo says, if we're in the final three with Cody, Christmas, you will win part one, which is usually endurance. Enzo will win part two, which is usually some sort of like a day's competition or some sort of mental thing. And he says at that point, it'll be me and you in the last part with questions, and I'll throw it to you. You know, at that point, I don't care. I'll throw it to you because we're both going to take each other to the end. Honestly, though, I would not be surprised if that situation happened and it was Christmas and Enzo in the last competition and he threw it to her, because I don't think he'd want to let Cody down like that. But I don't know. It'd be an interesting situation. I don't know. So anyway, Enzo keeps talking about how dangerous Nicole would be in the final three. She's heating up in the competitions, and he says he would rather go up against Cody than go up against Nicole. That sounds insane, but I guess. I mean, obviously, he's final two with Cody, so of course he's going to be saying this stuff. So he's like, I know it's crazy to say that I'm more afraid to go up against Nicole than Cody. And Christmas says, it's not crazy to say that. She says no one would win against Nicole. I'm pretty sure Cody would, and I think Enzo maybe, depending on what happens the rest of the season. Like, I don't think Christmas would beat anybody, but I think that Nicole is not going to beat everyone. Cody would probably beat everyone, so I really think they should be focusing on Cody. But I don't know if Enzo's going to be able to flip Christmas like this. That would be wild. So anyway, the feeds go down for a while. They go down for a few hours, and it turns out they had some sort of a luxury competition today. It had something to do with the BB comics, and Christmas was alone in the lounge after. We get a little bit of information here. She's talking to the cameras. Oh boy. And Christmas says, hands down, I don't care that I didn't win $10,000. I'm just really upset that I went against my tuition. I went against my intuition. Why did I write tuition? I went against my intuition, and I feel that I betrayed Memphis by not picking him. So I don't think the jury was actually there. I think there was some sort of a setup with the BB comics, and I don't know. I don't know what the competition was exactly, but it had something to do with the BB comics, and it included the comics of house guests who have already been evicted. So anyway, Christmas starts crying, and she says, I had so much fun in that comp, but it just made me miss my friend, Memphis. And she says, it's not about the cash. I feel like I betrayed him by not picking him. She just goes on and on about how she's worried that Memphis is going to see this and think that she betrayed him. So she says, I'm happy that Nicole won the money. You know, it's just kind of hard to explain. It sounds like maybe Memphis may have also won $10,000. I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me, but it sounds like it's possible. But Christmas is really upset, and she says, I just feel like he's going to be disappointed that I didn't pick him. This is just a lot considering all the rumors that have been swirling about Memphis and Christmas. So she says it's been a lot on her lately. You know, this is her second week on the block, and well, they didn't have nominations yet, but I guess she's assuming like I'm going up. No, wait, she was on the block before that too. So okay, 2 weeks already. She was up on the block, and her ride or die just got sent out. She just wants to hug her son and see her family. She wants to get out of here. She feels like she doesn't have any real friends left in the house anymore. She also thinks she's feeling a little attacked by Cody after that HOH competition because she says, I know Cody has an issue with me. She says it's funny, and it's funny that I can get under his skin. But she says she feels like Enzo shouldn't be nominating her this week, and it pisses her off that Enzo hasn't said that he's not putting her up on the block. But he is. That's because he is. So she says, I think that Enzo wants to try and keep his relationship with Cody intact. So he's going to put up me and Nicole. Yeah. What are you not getting here? So Christmas continues to cry about how much she misses Memphis. It's freaking wild, you guys. She's been in that lounge for a long time crying, and not just crying, but like, you know how they have that mirror in the back? She's like staring at the mirror as she cries. It's like a true cry when you stare at yourself in the mirror. So it's a lot, but yeah, they should be having nominations later. And it's looking like it's going to be Christmas and Nicole up on the block. So if you guys want to check back later, I will confirm that in the info box of this video. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. You guys are awesome. And tomorrow's the big day, right? Tomorrow is what really counts, the power of veto competition. So let me know who you guys are rooting for in that. I think it's going to be, I think the most exciting, the most exciting option.
You go, loyal.
Thank you. Would be a Christmas win, because then she would have to choose between Nicole and Cody. And I feel like she'd get rid of Cody, right? But then she was also having that conversation with Enzo, and she was like agreeing with a lot of the stuff that he was saying about how Nicole needs to go and how dangerous Nicole is. So I don't know if she was just kind of like yesing him, or if she actually is starting to see that as well, or believe that as well. Oh, sir! But we just gave me a high five. So yeah, it would be interesting to see what she would do if the guys would be able to convince her. That would be so embarrassing for her. I'm sorry. But yeah, if Nicole wins, I think she keeps Cody. I don't think she cuts him, even though that would be a game-winning move. And then if Cody wins, I think he keeps Nicole. I don't think he cuts her. So
yep.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But I want to thank all of our super chatters so much, because you guys are awesome and we couldn't do it without you. So Adley Bruges, thank you so much. Nicole Suresh, thank you so much. And they asked, who would win between Enzo and Nicole? That's a good question. I feel like Nicole might win. because, and I wouldn't have said that a few weeks
Enzo's
ago.
lazy.
I feel like we've been getting a vibe from
The jury.
The jury segments. They really are not feeling Enzo's gameplay.
Or maybe that was just Day. Did other
there were a
people
couple
say,
people who were saying, like, what is he even doing?
Get off your app and do some math?
Yeah. I mean, he's had the opportunity to make some big moves, and he hasn't taken that opportunity. So I think Nicole might pull it out if it's Enzo and Nicole. But that's a good question. Thank you so much. Dawn MH302, thank you so much. The real VB, thank you so much. And she asked, Cody said oh, okay. Cody said he would nominate Enzo if he won HOH, and Dum Dum said he don't care. But now he's not going to put up Cody. What a wuss. That's what I was saying. Exactly. They both said that they were going to put each other up on the block, but now that this is actually happening, they're like, oh, can't do that. Can't put up Cody.
Doesn't matter anyway.
I know. It's crazy. But anyway, thank you so much. Ashley Barnett, thank you so much. And she has a question. Who do you think is best prepared for a memory comp, knowing the days? I'm thinking Nicole. I would agree. I think Nicole is set up the best for it. And then behind her, I would say probably Cody, because I think they've been studying a lot together. But honestly, like, they've all been studying a bunch. So it would be a hard battle. But I think Nicole would be in the best spot. Thank you. Oh, Lucy's here too. Yay! Sheena123, thank you so much. And he asked, what would this game be like if Christine from BB16 was in the house instead of Nicole? Would she make it to Final Four? No. That's interesting. I think Christine has changed a lot since her first time on. I'd be curious to see what the interaction with Cody would be like. I don't think they would be as tight as Nicole and Cody. No freaking way. But I think she's smart. I think she would potentially be a good gamer. I'd be interested to see how she would do. I don't know, though, if she would be able to kind of like float through socially the way that Nicole does. Because I have to admit, like, Nicole plays a really good game.
If Christine, Nicole, and Danny were all in the house, would Cody have a main squeeze and two side pieces, or they wouldn't get together? They wouldn't get along.
I don't think that Christine would work with Cody.
I
don't know that she'd want to work with Nicole either. I don't think they're on great terms.
I think she'd want to work with Cody, but I don't think Danny or Nicole would get along with Christine.
Yeah, probably not.
Because they're mean girls.
Yeah, I don't know. But these were some really interesting questions, guys. So thank you so much. I gotta run because, like, I got D&D tonight.
Damned.
Yeah, done. So thank you all so much for being here. Tomorrow, big day. So we'll see you then. And until then, much love.